Lords of Caladan, the news you bring is distressing, but I cannot say that I have not feared it. If you would bring him, I should welcome you at a funeral. I desire for this to happen before his face becomes that of one long gone. I cannot travel. I can barely walk. But I can speak and think, and I know that I have you to thank for this. There's a few lines. I am in need of counsel, and I need it quickly. Bring me my boy home, but bring also your words. Lord Piers Cairn of Nightsong, Lord of the Marshes.
Well, that's an official summon by the Lord of the Marshes, so that's where we're going.
Pretty much just like fucking like put that on attack to like Lord Halen. Like,
Oh, by the way, my lord, here's this.
I'm going to go paint now.
Oh, I'm free, finally free. Ugh, horrible. Well, it's time to see what the Hand of the King wants.
Yay!
Wait, the Hand of the King? Oh shit.
Yeah?
Yeah, whenever you stepped away,
I shouldn't step away anymore. God damn it.
Decim Caladan, the Black Brush.
Oh, great. Great start.
You can't pound this off to like Halen.
It is my desire to visit Respite. I will gladly wait for your convenience. Your daughter has spoken well of you, and the young Lord Selmy himself has told me of the many tales you've been telling to the Lords of the Dornish Marshes.
Oh, no.
It seems that you have great fears, and Lord Dundarian has personally asked me to speak to you and perhaps to aid you in laying these fears to rest.
Oh my god!
I'm at Blackhaven escorting the Royal Prince Baelor on his journey along the Boneway, but I have little interest in walking it myself. A visit to Respite would therefore be a choice respite from my travels.
No.
Lord Ambrose Butterwell, and of the King.
No. I don't. Help.
What?
Help.
I don't know if this is worse.
Help.
He noted you personally.
Yes. Not me personally. By nickname, even.
Oh, jeez. Your daughter and Selmy. That's my Selmy.
Oh my.
Turns out he is at Blackhaven with your daughter and Lord Dundarian and also Lord Selmy.
What the fuck?
Lord Selmy took his army that was missing to fucking come to the Hand of the King, and now the Hand of the King is coming here.
Why is the Hand of the King coming here? Why are we summoned to Nightsong? Help.
Because someone has finally taken notice of all of your worries.
God damn it.
This isn't this what Decim
Yay!
This isn't what
Lord Dundarian promised he would ask on your behalf.
No.
Oh, thanks, Dondarian.
So I if you would indulge me, please, I want to know how Decim's reacting, and then I want to know the scene where Alaric, fucking freaked out of his mind, walks into the council room with Decim, fucking freaked out of his mind.
Decim reading like the first letter. He is certainly very solemn, nodding solemnly and being like, "Yes, of course, all of this needs to be done." He's asking for advice, which is interesting, and that is certainly something he would be interesting to speak him about. He hasn't met Lord Cairn for some time, and talking to him would be pretty good. So he would, be solemn, but in fairly unconcerned generally about that. And then when he's opens the Hand of the King and he just starts reading, and it's just like eyes widening, just mouth slightly open as he reads the letter and rereads it a few times, and just with shaking hands and cold sweat on his brow, sort of puts it down on the table. And he seems to be breathing somewhat irregularly as Alaric bursts through the door. Desmond will actually, as Alaric bursts in, Desmond will actually jump in his seat as clearly being startled.
Alari's gone back to drinking, so yeah.
And then looks around. Kvala will squawk loudly. Desmond will look at him.
Alaric will just walk in, take a seat without really saying anything, then look up to him and say, I found out what the debt's all about.
Desmond blinks. He seems incapable of comprehending. Suddenly, you see, has one of his hands on the letters. What the debt? What are you talking about, Alaric?
The debt to the Lannisters. That's now the debt to the Iron Bank. Yeah,
But
that one.
uh-huh.
It turns out I had drinks with some Lannisters, obviously. One of them, Moral Lannister, as basically he kind of looks lost for words and says, when this possible rebellion possibly starts, the Lannisters...
What?
He puts up a finger and says, when that possibly starts, the Lannisters want to keep the Reach out of it, so are going to persuade Longthorn not to get involved. But this Moral Lannister, he can hold some sway and stop that from happening. And then, but if he had a debt, then he wouldn't be trusted. So apparently I took that debt and helped us join a possible rebellion. He looks extremely confused, and then just kind of sinks in a chair and says, I think we should probably talk to Lady Swan about, like, dowries and shit.
Decibel just... Lady Swan about what? Are you even talking about, Alaric? How do you know this? How do you remember this now?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does Alaric still have that letter he was given?
Letter? What letter?
You said that the mysterious stranger gave him a letter. So
Oh,
you
he
signed this.
he showed him like an
The
insignia,
seal, yeah.
Oh, okay.
but he certainly didn't give it to him.
Ah, too bad.
Oh, cool. We'll be like, well, apparently if we don't clear the debt soon, the Lannisters and the Iron Bank will investigate about the whole debt issue. And then the Reach and the Westlands will be kept out of this hypothetical rebellion. And that's not good. Especially if Tyrell if the Longthorn leaves and just leaves us to our own devices. Peak is gonna screw something up.
Desmond sort of looks slightly like a fish on land, trying to get the breath or something. He said, why are you remembering this now, Sir Alaric? Why are you telling me?
The man at
Now
the gate.
of all the times.
Calm. The man at the gate.
What man at the gate?
There was a man at the gate that called for me specifically. It turned out that was my contact about all this Lannister thing. I
Do you
took him.
remember this contact?
He kind of looks quizzically, like thinking. Does he remember?
Yeah. Yeah, kinda. He does.
Alaric kind of
I've
like
that guy before. He was there.
Alaric slowly nods and says, "Yeah, I think I remember him. Yeah, pretty sure I do. Wow, that's actually, huh."
I love how he's impressed by that right now.
So he looks deep in thought. So cousin, what's got you so what's the word? Frazzled?
Destin at this point sort of starts to get up.
I mean, you
But that-
you jumped. You don't jump, Destin. You don't jump in your seat. What's got you so worked up? Tell me, cousin.
First off, here's this letter you can't fucking read from the father of the squire you had. Oh, and second, here's this letter you can't fucking read from the head of the king.
I hate Alaric now, it says.
Where's Lucas? I need to hit something.
You probably
Father,
shouldn't.
like, hops away.
I would never hit father. Come on. Stranger take me. So Alaric, would you kindly go and fetch the family? We need to have a council meeting, I think.
Alaric looks around and says, "We should really have a bell for this, but sure." He goes out, goes to the servants' chamber, expecting to find Lucas.
Hal will do his best to go find, like, people.
Yep.
Like in the window, look at Nima. Be like, "Rah! Rah!"
Can this window even be opened?
Probably
Gently,
picks up.
Yeah.
I should admit. What do you want, Strangler?
Strangler.
Like, hop on her shoulder.
Well, that's a new one.
Like wave in the direction of the door.
Nima gives a deep bow to the Northishman. It seems I'm needed somewhere. If my lovely company will excuse me. Okay, we'll go. But I had a thing with them.
Yeah, you're bonding.
And we were bonding. We were gonna have an orgy if you hadn't come in, Father. Strangler.
Find a flight away to find. What else? He will land probably in like Bree's window, and then he will fly away. He's not missing out.
And Nima comes in and sits on the opposite chair and puts her legs up.
She hops in here, like pecks the table.
So I'm invited to the family meetings now.
Doesn't looks at Nima. You were always at these meetings, Nima.
Not when the older lord is here.
I'm pretty sure you were here, right? Weren't
No,
you here?
I was
Kind
not.
of walked in.
You,
I
you walked in
in,
and you were
yeah.
like in the sexy clothes, and he was like, "Could
Yeah.
you put something on?" And you were like, "Oh, fine."
And
Oh
then
yeah,
you left.
but that was.
And then you just ditched
oh, yeah,
it.
That was.
You
No, I
didn't
did come
stick-
back.
Yeah, you were totally here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was because he demanded it.
Do you go for Bree or Rosette? Or...
I sent Lucas to go get.
Yeah, and we'll bring Rosette in on this as well, I suppose. She probably needs to be updated a little bit, at least.
So are the Dornish gonna be sent home?
Well, they did kill their captain like at the moment's notice, you know. So
We'll do
Suppose
it like
this is a few days later, so
they're on
We'll,
trial.
So
Well,
Bree would like be like, what is Bree doing a few days after this whole affair?
Well, after having her extensive day with the Maester, she has probably slipped further into seclusion and introspection than what she had before the journey even to the Three Pairs. Although she has continued to request and receive food be delivered to her room, because that's what the new Lord allowed. She's eaten bits of it, and she's pretty much just like threw the rest away. She has had plenty of sleepless time, basically relying on her family leaving her alone and using whatever like freedoms and like get out of like fuck you free cards she can pull out. And so whenever someone actually does come knock on her door, perhaps Lucas in this case, Bree looks haggard, with some degree of exhaustion, and perhaps has a bit of an underfed nature to her as well. But she stares with that same cold fury at being interrupted, particularly because she doesn't care about Lucas.
The Maester has probably maybe like twice a day been looking in to see how she's been doing, if she needs anything, just like tea.
The primary time that she does eat has been with Maester Cole, and that's the time where she's lit up. And then as soon as he's gone, she pretty much slips into her contemplative state.
He's brought sort of his food here as well. With her. Maybe they won't talk much, but just for the company.
Yes, something that she's never found herself appreciating until now.
At this point, it isn't really food time when Lucas comes knocking, but he gets the knock. You can hear sort of on the height of where he knocks that it's him.
And she can immediately tell it's not the Maester.
Yeah, because he generally does a slight, sort of very quiet. Lucas just sort of does a knock, knock, knock.
And then basically an accusation. Why have you bothered me, Lucas?
Lord Nessum wishes you to meet him in the council chamber, my lady.
Bree.
He sounds more timid than he usually does.
Bree doesn't care because she's insensitive. Bree will quickly stalk to the door and like fling it open and glare at him accusingly as if he's just interrupted her in the middle of something incredibly important.
He steps back and sort of looks away, as that's what he's want to do.
Has he? Well then thank you for your service, Lucas. As is expected.
What do you want me to?
She begins edging out. How about you go about the rest of your chores? She closes her door. Lucas?
Of course. And sort of stand around for just a little bit, not really sure what to do. Before we'll go and begin like changing sheets, because that's something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the swan guard stands out here guarding while the lady is bathing.
Bree like looks at the guard, like blinks as if she's having trouble remembering him.
He's just sort of he sort of moves a hand to his helmet and does sort of a little tip of it. He bows his head to her.
Bree,
My lady.
curtsies in return. Pretty sure that that's what she's supposed to do, but she's a bit confused right now, and so she just like leaves.
Goes back to standing in front of the door.
And then well, I mean, she's no longer injured or wounded, but the very reclusive Bree comes into the council room as well.
As everyone sort of gathers. I said sitting next to Lanus, even though she's still giving him somewhat of a cold shoulder.
Sure.
How is everyone actually sort of when they sort of just sit here gathering? Probably usually people don't talk much before everyone's here, just to not have to repeat themselves. How is everyone? How does everyone look? Sort of go around the table, starting from Lanus.
Sure. Lanus has a very unhappy demeanor, just drawn over him. Everything that's happened, he's not been in the best mood, but he is he is highly presentable still, putting in quite the effort to look his position and status.
Mhm.
So, not in particularly great mood. He actually has a small notebook which he brought with him, though he hasn't opened it, but he brought it with him.
What about Decim?
Decim has composed himself. He has his cold, logical facade going. Inner turmoil might be raging quite heavily, but again, he is skilled at keeping his feelings hid when he so chooses. Nevertheless, he sits and he looks somewhat strained, perhaps. One of his hands is resting on the small pile of letters, and Kvalar is sitting on the corner of the table, also looking over the letters, almost as if he is guarding them, or perhaps like watching them. He is frowning as well.
What about Alaric?
Yeah. He's deep in thought, which is obvious, and there's occasions where he looks perplexed, and then he might shift to just smiling and generally being in a alright mood, then maybe going into a bit of a solemn mood, and then going back to looking perplexed. There's a lot going on in his mind, and he doesn't really hide it as much as Decim does.
I owe a lot of money. The last couple of days have been kind of great.
Still, it's a lot of
I don't know
money.
how.
It's a really lot of money.
But I mean,
I got laid, but then Manfred's
Totally
dead.
banged the swan chick.
what about Bree?
Well, as I described, whenever Bree was in her transitional period here, she, other than like spending time with the Maester, she really hasn't left her room otherwise. And it does help that the Maesters come, so that's basically like a great excuse to like not go anywhere. She does look as if she has slept poorly, and that she has not eaten well. She is very quiet and reserved. She usually does take an observing nature to begin with, if only because she is a crafty manipulator and opportunist. But her anger, for the most part, has calmed down, at least for now. And really, whenever she goes in the council chamber, she's just confused. She's completely out of the loop. So she's like looking around all these people like, right, they do exist. Like, yeah, there's like more outside of my life. So yes, her look is one of confusion.
Nina looks like he always does. Kinda bored and...
You bring the wine.
Nah, that would be mean. He left it with the Dornishman.
It's like a stale sort of canteen of water in the middle of the table.
Lucas brings the wine, doesn't he?
It's like a lemon wedge in it from the day before.
Smooth.
So everyone's gathered. Everyone
So
with their own
What-
issues.
What does
I
Rosette
don't
look
have
like?
any issues.
And Nima's the only one saying like, yeah, so what's up?
So what's up?
Well, what does Rosette look like?
She just looks at the table, though she still has sort of a neutral, slight frown. She clearly hasn't forgotten the episode of her almost being denied her right.
And that her challenger actually didn't charge at her at all
Yeah.
in the battle. That's quite a slight.
She's a little bit annoyed at this whole affair, and even though she doesn't really know who to take it out on, she's just taking it out on everybody by being distant and generally unpleasant and staying away from people.
Probably slap lane is a bit more.
No. Seems to be sort of a much more of a, anger, frustration response in a way. He's always been wild.
Well,
She's paying attention.
Desmond will look around the table, and he will say, the last couple of days have been troubling for many reasons. We have a lot of things that we need to consider going forward. First of all, I have gotten a letter from Lord Karen inviting us politely, although it is more of an order to come to Nightsong to deliver Manfur's body. This is not something that we can ignore. He is inviting all of us to this. And even though I know that our last journey wasn't the most successful, hopefully this time we can prevail over the odds. But the letters, like I said, this needs to be dealt with rather soon, I think.
Question, Uncle.
Yes.
How does this, you said order, how does this help us in determining who the next Lord of the Marshes is?
He looks at her. It, on the surface, does not help us much in that ambition. He sighs slightly. Nevertheless, Lord Karen has asked to have a meeting. We are invited to attend the funeral, which we shall. And after that, there will be some sort of talk about the future of the marshes, I imagine. He sighs, slightly puts that letter aside. Then, and somewhat more alarmingly, we have this. He taps the letter from from the hand of the king.
See that broken seal. Oh, probably few of you actually know what that means. Lanus probably does. Rosette probably as well. Probably actually pretty much everyone but Bree and Nima.
Yeah, what the fuck?
This is a letter from Lord Butterwell, hand of the king, and quite possibly
Nima actually... There is... She's just about to laugh and tries to hold it in.
the quite possibly second powerful, if not the most powerful man in the Seven Kingdoms at this point. He is traveling here to Respite to meet us.
What does that even mean? What is the hand of the king? You know, what does the hand of the king? What does he want with us? And is it just me who can see the ironic fact that his name has the word "but" and he is the hand of the king?
What?
Sorry.
I think some of us have a bit more of a refined sense of humor, Nima.
Wow.
Lark's
I
an
mean-
asshole. He's sad.
I mean, I can't control my last name is Caladan. It's the name he was born with, Nima.
True. So, what does this mean? Why does the hand of the king?
Apparently the hand of the king has been told much about us by Lord Dondarian and by my daughter, and he wishes to meet us to
He
discuss.
wishes to meet
things.
you, Uncle?
Yeah, he glances slightly at the letter. Yes, he wants to meet and talk with me, but he also wants to visit Respite and meet the family at large. Apparently, he has been told quite a bit about us.
If you said he's traveling here, when's he going to be here? If we are been ordered to travel to see Lord Karen for the funeral, and then the hand of the king is coming, yeah, will he be here now?
If Desmond would do like a calculation in his mind, Malachi, If
The letter does say that he's currently at Blackhaven.
And it did
And
say
that
at your
he will
convenience.
go at your he will go at your convenience. Though it's probably not polite to ask him to wait for too long.
no, then Decimal say just that. That this visit to to Lord Karen must be done with some speed.
How long will it take us to go see Lord Karen, Uncle?
How long would it take us, Malachi?
Well, let's look at the distances.
Bree has all the good questions.
Yeah, Blackhaven is
Let's-
rather far away.
Night Song is pretty far away as well. Here,
I'll guess that they have heard a lot about us. Does not include Nima.
it would take pretty much. They're almost as long as Peaceberry. Each, really.
My
So-
triggers.
Don't say that name.
Yeah, don't trigger that name.
The memories.
That's about a good 7 to 10 days of travel to either.
Yeah. Well,
So, with that in mind, Uncle, so then Lord Karen might want us to stay there, so expect this Hand of the King to be here in a moon? Is that what would be? We have to go see Lord Karen first, right? Because
yes, we do. But we have precious little time to go to Night Song, and it must be dealt with first. Lord Butterwell is gracious enough to allow us some time to have the keep in order for his arrival, and that is something that we will take him up on, I feel.
Is the Hand of the King very important?
Yes, Nima, he is one of the most important people in the kingdoms. He could, with a stroke of his pen, annihilate us completely if he so choose. Or become a great benefactor of our house.
Oh, that's not very awesome.
yes, but the fact that he has apparently taken such a great interest in Uncle surely means great things for our house, right, Uncle? After all, such an important, prestigious individual, this Hand of the King, Lord Butterwell, has come here to see. She looks around the table. I can't imagine anyone but you. You're a famous artist, Uncle.
So
Be
what's
in the
gonna
dark
happen?
room.
What's gonna happen with the Dornish? The soldiers are talking about they're gonna leave.
Doesn't
Often says, I
blinks.
suppose that is to be expected at this point.
Yes, I do believe that is for the best. Their job here is done.
You know, it's just